All right. So I will wait a few minutes, see if anybody's going to show up. Hello, 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 lurker. How are you? It's fine, fine Navy day. So what I am doing right now is I am doing the heel of this mint green stocking. The yarn is um, Mary Maxim yarn, and I think it's called Twist. It has like I don't know if y'all can see it, but it has like some white threads and the green, and it's very springy. Hey Shatika, how are you? So I was just gonna share what I've been working on. Um, so I've been on a stocking kick of late. Um, So, so this is the mint green stocking. And right now I'm sewing in the afterthought heel. It's a texture stocking. So you got the ribbing, you got bobbles, you have back loop only on some of the, you can see the little ridges for back loop only. And now I'm doing the afterthought heel. And and this is the other stocking this is the one I did first, and this is one of the big stockings. So this is a ginormous stocking. So, and it is a combination of knit and crochet. The heel is knit. So you just pick up the stitches like you would any other project, any other knit project where you're doing an afterthought heel. And so the heel is knit, and it's another very textured project. Oh, very nice. And then this is another one that I did in blue and brown with white accents. And you got a white ribbing at the top. And then I also picked up the stitches and knit the heel for this one. So those are the 3 stockings. Now I don't have any of these because I've already took them to work and gave them to my teammates. And the teammates who will be coming back into the office on the 6th, Hey VJ, they'll be picking up their stockings on that, but it's basically the ones I made for them are their team colors. This is like a little hit, a little pentagon, and then you just fold it and sew it up, and it makes like this little booty looking shape. And so I made theirs with their favorite colors or their favorite football team colors. And so I already took them all to work, so I don't have any of them here to show you guys. But this is just an extra one I had left over from last year. Just so I can show you what I was doing. So there's like, let me see. Think about 9 people have theirs already, so I still have about 8 tacked onto my desk pin board area. The other thing I've been working on is making lots of dishcloths or face cloths to use and give away. I just gotta weave in all the ends, so they're just like little pentagons. And or you could use them for coasters. You could use them for coaster sets. I just have a bunch of cotton, and I'm not a cotton fan. I have cotton people have given me, and then I also have some cotton that I got from the dollar store. That's what this cotton is. All these is dollar store cotton, and this is a Burnett Kitchen cotton. And one skein of that Burnett Kitchen cotton makes 2.5 of these dishcloths, and these are hexagon dishcloths. And so you can get 2, and then you have the half, which both halves from both skeins makes one. This is some more of those dishcloths from the the Premier Cotton, Just Cotton from the dollar store. Now, this cotton is next to skin soft. It's way softer than that Burnett cotton. Way softer. You can make garments from this stuff and you'll be fine. And so then I got like a little long towel, tea towel type thing. I like having these hanging on my stove because I can double them over and fold them and use them in like a quick pot holder, or I can use them to mop up stuff that spills. And then there's another one. It's a little bit shorter than that one, but I was using the last of the skein. And I don't know, VJ, did you see the stockings? Close ups of all the stockings. I love this big one. I love it. And you can put a lot in there. You could actually probably wear this one as a hat. Yeah, you could probably wear this one as a hat. But this one was a lot of fun because I had the picture from a flyer from Hobby Lobby, but it didn't have the pattern. So I was like, well, I'll just try and make something myself. And so this is the flyer. And I recently went back to the Hobby Lobby website on a live with Jeannie and found the pattern. And mine is not like this pattern. So yeah, but it's good to be able to, if you can read patterns or you're comfortable with your crocheting and stuff, you don't have to use a pattern. You can just figure it out on your own. The stitches on the heel, well, when you knit them, this is knit. So when you knit it, you basically account 40. I think this one was 40. Maybe this one was 40. This big one was 40. So basically, I count 40 stitches because I crocheted it. So I count 40 stitches on each side, and I pick up 40 stitches on my DPNs. And then this is an afterthought heel. So when you do the after, I mark the beginning with the stitch marker that has another little stitch marker hanging off of it, so I know that's the beginning side. And then I put a stitch marker on the other side of the crease, and that way I'll know when I get to that stitch marker I need to do a decrease if I'm on a decrease row. And so the decreases for afterthought heels is the beginning, where the beginning of the round is. You're going to do knit one, slip, slip, knit the rest over till you get to your next stitch marker. The last 3 stitches you're going to knit 2 together, knit 1, and then you're going to knit 1, slip, slip, knit, and that will form this nice decorative ridge right there from your decreases. And then I use the Kitchener stitch to bind the last 8 stitches on each side. So I had 8 stitches left on each side for my decreases, and I use a Kitchener stitch, the invisible stitch, to bind it off. Hey, Crystal. Now for the crochet one, you don't have to pick up your stitches. You just need to notate where your corners are going to be for your decreases, and you're doing it just like as if you were knitting them. You're going to well, I'm using half double crochet, so you're going to half double crochet 1, and then do a half double crochet decrease, half double crochet 2 of them together, and then you're going to go over till you get 2 stitches from your little corner here, and you can see the corner because it's got like this. It's like a little row right there. It's like a little road through there. And so when you 3 stitches from your corner, you're going to crochet 2 together and then do your next half double crochet. And then when you get on the other side, you're going to crochet half double crochet 1, and then the next 2 stitches half double crochet them together. So it's similar to what you're doing with the knitting. As you can see, you're going to get like this little, let me see, like, I don't know if y'all can see it with this mint color, but you're going to get like a little, just like it's going to show up in your product. You're going to have like these little, it's hard to see. Let me see. Okay. See that lattice? It's like a little lattice forming where one stitch will be facing left and the other stitch will be facing right. And they're going to go like that all the way across your decrease. So this one's almost done. It won't take me long to finish putting this heel in. So, and then this one I just did a rounded toe, just like doing your hat decreases, until I had 8 stitches on each side of the toe, and then I just pulled them together and sewed it together. So you'll end up with a rounded toe for that. But it's the same. It's the stocking. If you can do a Christmas stocking, you can do a sock. It's the same exact construction. So if you could do a sock using sock yarn, you can make a sock the same way. I wouldn't want these bobbles on it because that texture would, if you got sensitive feet, that texture would get on your nerves. But if you're just gonna make a plain, you could put bobbles up at the leg of the sock, just not down by the heel and down by the toe and the bottom of the foot portion. You don't want bobbles there because it's gonna irritate. Excuse me, it's gonna irritate your foot. If go and look up on Ravelry, Laura Linneman. She has a pattern called Afterthought Heels, and that's the one that I follow. I know that other people do the fish lips kiss heel and stuff like that, but I don't have time to be doing. I don't like doing stuff where I have to actually count. This The afterthought heel is easier because you're only going to be at the beginning of the round. You're going to do your knit one, slip, slip, knit with your first decrease. At the end of those two needles where your marker is at, you're going to do three stitches from that stitch marker. You're going to do knit two together and knit one, and then you're going to have your stitch marker, and then you're going to do knit one and slip, slip, knit. So you'll have one, the knit two together, knit one will be right leaning, and the knit one slip, slip, knit will be left leaning, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to it, but I think that's how it goes. And that way the stitches complement each other. One leans to the left, one leans to the right. It's like a little pretty V kind of. And all your decreases will be in the same area. They line up. It lines your decreases up. So as you can see here, one leans to the right, one leans to the left, and then you got the little knit. Your little knit ones are in the middle between those decreases. So it's a little decorative decrease. Y'all have to excuse me if I'm coughing. The creeping crud came home with the grandkids. Everybody in the house is sick. We've been sucking down third flu, uh, fever medicine, everything. It's not the COVID. It's just whatever bug is going around in these schools right now. If she wants her sleeves to be narrower, then can't you seam further up the side, or no? It's because of the way it's folded. Or you can pick up less stitches. Like you can start, do the first 3 or 4 rounds. You can decrease down. You can make a temp sleeve to see how wide you do want it, and so those are the number of stitches you're going to need. Um, it's just like when we did the flax sweater. You had a lot of live stitches, and you had to do decreases as you were picking those stitches up, so that your sleeve wouldn't be too wide. So yeah, and or you could also, when if you're going to take it down to your wrist, and you want ribbon on the end, um, most most people, they decrease every 10 rows, they decrease until by the time you get to your sleeve, is where your wrist is where you want it to be. Hi, Ivy. Find your favorite sweater, Nisi, and measure it, how wide that sleeve is on one side, multiply it by 2, and then you have the inches and just do it, like draw your picture of the sleeve, how you want it to look, and then measure your favorite sweater or jacket, and several, every 10, it's like 10 stitch areas, space apart, and measure it. How many inches is that going to be on one side? Is it, you go from 10 down to 9, 8, 9, whatever, but you can mark it on your template what you want, and then you could try to do that to your other project. Let me see. See, like like if this was my favorite sweater, and let's say at the top where it connects to the jacket is 12 inches laid flat, which multiply everything multiplied by 2 would give you your circumference. So that's going to be 24 inches, that's going to be 20, and then that's going to be 16, and then you got your ribbing, which would probably be maybe 6 inches, 6 to 5 inches. It depends on the person, and you multiply times 2 for the circumference. Now, if you know your favorite jacket sleeve is going to be have a 24 excuse me, have a 24-inch circumference at the top where it meets with your shoulders, then for your crochet sleeve, you need to go ahead and measure that while it's laying flat to see how wide that sleeve is. Now, you're going to have to play with it a little bit. If that sleeve is, let's say that sleeve is 30 inches and your optimum sleeve is 24 inches. Let's say that sleeve has 72 stitches. So 30 inches equals 72 stitches. And so 30 minus 24, that's going to give you what? 6 left over? Because that's a 6-stitch difference. So your 24 should be, and then 72 minus 6. So your 24-inch sleeve should be 66 stitches. Should be. But that's just the basics of the math for doing that. And most patterns that I've done, they want you to do your decreases like every 8 to 10 stitches. You'll do your decreases, and it'll tell you in the pattern how many you're supposed to decrease from. So, but with crochet, we know we can play around with it. We can try it on. If we don't like, if it's too many decreases, we can go back and change it and whatnot. But you can play around with your numbers and stuff. And then once you figure out what your numbers are, and you do your sleeve, you have the numbers you need to do the second sleeve to make sure it's the same way. And if you change anything on this sleeve, let's say you're doing every 10 rows, well, crochet stitches are bigger, so maybe every 8 rows you're doing a decrease, or however you figure out you need to do it for your sweater sleeve. Make sure you update your pattern that you find out that you need to do every 6 rows instead of every 8 rows, and then you do your decreases every 6 rows. You need to make sure you document it so that your second sleeve will match your first sleeve, and then you can use that template, save it, file it away, because you're going to make that sweater again, and now you already have all this stuff figured out for how to do your sleeves the way you want them to look. You know what? I'm sitting here wondering why I can't hear y'all. I've had a day and it's cold. Like, because I'm so used to talking to the people when I'm playing my video game. I'm sitting here wondering why ain't nobody talking. Oh, hey, Miss Marsha. Oh my goodness. Hey, Maritza. Ivy. But yeah, that's how you keep stuff. I like my little book. Where is it at? It has all my stuff in there when I'm making stuff for my grandkids or making stuff for me or whoever. Like I have my little cheat sheets in the front for like baby stuff, and the head sizes and child and adult throws and loveys. And then I have my needle and crochet hooks right there. And then like I was playing around with doing triangular shawls. And so I got notes on triangular shawls in this book. I made my friend some shark socks. So this was God, this was freaking, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. I made her some shark socks, and I still got all the notes from those socks. I made them for her, her brother, her niece, her kids. My friend Artie Dar, I crocheted her some fingerless gloves. She still wears those things. She still has them to this day. So it's good because if you're customizing stuff, I made a little owl cell phone cozy for somebody at my job. You'll have all those notes and you can recreate that project. And and when I did the flax the flax sweater for me, the same thing. On that pattern, I have notes all over that pattern for the flax. And I made this hat for, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I designed this and made this for a coworker to what she wanted on her hat. And it was so easy. I was like, give me something that's challenging, lady. And yeah. So these little mitts. Those are the little mitts I made for Luna to wear when she was first born to keep her from scratching up her face. So these, you get you a little notebook to take notes from and to save your information for projects that you work on, because you never know when those notes are going to be useful for another project. Instead of reinventing the wheel, you can just pick up your wheel you already made and figure it out that way. Let's see. Oh yeah, so right here I was making some fingerless gloves for my husband, and so that's how I wanted it to look. And I did a thumb gusset for these instead of doing just the buttonhole gusset for the thumb, and how long I wanted the ribbon to be. And then over here I put how many stitches that I cast on, and over here. He still has those gloves. They're yellow. I made them from some Knit Picks wool of the Andes. So, and this is the turnip that I was making my daughter. I got some old videos of that. And the reason I use the grid is because it's easier to line up your and these are my son's measurements and stuff. But when I make him fingerless gloves, this is his page. This was his gloves I made him in 2022. So I gotta get started. I think I made him some this year, but I make them so fast that it's time to make him some more. Um and this is the notes. Remember that live we did last year where we did the pumpkins? So this is the notes from that knit pumpkin right there. When we did a knit together, knit along, Crystal. And so yeah, so get you a book to store your information in for your projects. And trust me, it'll come in handy. Just like this thing right here that I just drew for your sleeve. I'm gonna keep that because you never know. I might do a tutorial one day and I can just use your notes. Hey Marsha, how you doing? The other thing that I did today was I got the last of my figs off of my fig tree. And so there they are. I've never gotten figs this late in the year off of my fig tree. And I still might get some more because there's still some up there that haven't died. We haven't had a frost yet here in coastal Virginia. Hey Steve. So I might still, and there's some that's already big, but they're still hard. They might soften up in the next day or two. And so I'll be getting some few more figs. My daughter, she loves them. She's not vegan. She's vegetarian. She will eat some meat every once in a while. if it's something that I cook that she likes. So, but yeah, I showed those for those who were late coming in, or I was showing them the close up of the stockings, and that the heel was knitted. And this is the stocking I'm trying to finish right now is this mint green stocking. I was at the laundromat working on this yesterday. And this lady, she told me, she said, "Girl, I don't know who foot you plan on putting down." and, I, and just like now, I started laughing and coughing. And I was like, this is not for somebody to wear. I said, it's a Christmas stocking. But it's always something that's going on. Like when my daughter's wrecked, and then she hurt her foot, and then my husband's truck started acting up, and it's just one thing after the other. And I was like, what else is gonna happen? I shouldn't have said that, because the universe said this is gonna happen. So I was washing the dishes and the sink stopped draining. So I figured it was just like an easy, clog or something. Oh no. I had to get down under the sink, take apart the U trap. That's where the clog was at, luckily. Clean all that out. Clean up all the water from where, because of where the clog was, the water started backfilling. So it was dripping, so it was wet up under there. So I had to clean all that crap up. And then after I got the clog cleared and cleaned out that pipe real good and put everything back together, clean as a whistle, working fine. But it's always something. But then I think of it this way. I know how to take care of stuff like that. I didn't have to call a plumber to come to my house and spend $500 for him to fix something that simple. So it's you take the good with the bad. It was some spilled water. Gonna have to keep it dry up under there. Check it, make sure the wood is good, make sure the wood ain't warping. If the wood is warping, I'm gonna have to pull that wood up and put some new wood down there. But it's stuff that I know how to do. And the reason I know how to do stuff like that is because of my stepfather. Everything I know, from cars to plumbing, everything I know, he taught me. So at least I didn't have to spend money. I got wet. The floor got wet. The under the sink got wet. It all got cleaned up. And then I went outside and picked fish. So yeah. These stockings, Dreeny, you need to make your baby some. They so fast and easy. But this one is the fun one. I'm telling you, the bobble one, it's the fun one. And all I did, because what do I do with that paper? I swear I can't keep track of that day. All right. So this is the picture from the Hobby Lobby flyer. Remember I told y'all the stupid flyer didn't have none of the patterns. It didn't even have the name of this Christmas stocking on it. It didn't have none of the patterns. And it shows all of them. I was like, usually when they put these flyers out, the flyers have the actual pattern on it with it too, but they didn't. So I had gone to their website and looked for this flyer, and I couldn't find it. And I said, well, ain't y'all something? So I went there again looking for the patterns, didn't find them. But then so I just gave up on it. And I got this pattern, back in late July. It's when I got this flyer. And I said, well, when I went to Jeannie's live the other day, and we were talking about it, she said, well, go check. And we went and checked, and they had the flyer with the patterns in it at their website then. So maybe it was just too early in the year. They hadn't put all the stuff up. But my thing is this. If you're going to put this out, you should have the patterns available that same day. Or maybe, somebody got impatient at the store and put them out early. I don't know. Hey, Jeannie. But when we went over there, it was there. And so now I had the pattern. And from the picture, it it looks totally different from my stocking. And so when I read the pattern on the flyer, it ain't nothing like what I did for my stocking. So I started I started at the toe, just like making the beanie hat. And then I took and I did a half double crochet back loop down here. Then I did another row half double crochet where I did my bobbles. And then I did my bobbles every other stitch. I did a bobble. That's why there's so many bobbles around it. And then I did another half double crochet. I did a half double crochet back loop, and then I did a double crochet. I did double crochet front post, back post, 2 rows, so you can get that texture from the front post, back post ribbing. So you get that texture. And then I just started over all the way until I broke for the heel. And then I did it all the way up the stocking. And then I did the ribbon, front post, back post ribbon for the top of the stocking. And then when you get through doing the ribbon, you just chain and do your loop. And I picked up the stitches, I knit the heel, but you could do this with crochet. You don't have to. You could even crochet a patch separately and then sew that patch on. You don't have to do it afterthought heel. So, but it's fun. It's fun, and it's helping me with some of my mental stuff. Just doing these stockings because it makes me happy. It's fun, and I can change up the textures. Like even though I'm on a bobble kick, I I can still change up the stitches. Like did a stripe in here on this one, and the toe on this one. I did this. I think I did the toe. Yeah, I did. No, I did this from bottom up to toe up. But this one I did top down. The green one I did top down. So I started at the top and I worked my way down, and now I'm doing the heel and I'll be done. And just another one, more bobbles, more ribbing, half double crochet, back loop only. And then also I did on this one, like when you do the camel stitch. So I would do every so often I'll do one of those on the pattern, the camel stitch. So, but it's just fun. You could do what you want to do with your stocking. It ain't like it's something you got to wear on your foot. I would ill advise somebody trying to wear one of these on their feet. This one is going to Victor. So his mom and them, they'll probably fill it with gifts. This one probably just hanging up for decorations. My husband is a Christmas freak, so this stuff he deals with it. I could care less about Christmas stuff, but I do like crocheting. So hey, I can make stuff to make him happy. Now I do have a hat for me. So there was only one skein of this yarn left at Michael's, and made me a elf hat with it. Even though I'm the grumpy elf. My kids even bought me a T-shirt that has the grumpy elf like this. The thing about it is, I like the way I did mine better than that pattern. And now I'm like, I'll just stick to just going doing it butterfly, just looking at the picture and figuring something out that I like. Hey, Butter Roll Boutique. Because that pattern is like, why would you do that? You could get that same look doing what I did. So why would I go through all that trouble to do? They're in that pattern. They're having you It's crazy how they're having you do that pattern. That's ridiculous. I'm like, I ain't doing that. I don't need to do that. to make a stocking. Like, you know, once you've made socks, crochet or knit, once you've made socks, you could pretty much just look for stitches and figure out how you want your stitches to be. Like, these are my 7-year socks. I started working on these socks 7-8 years ago. I hate knitting socks. Like, if I was making fingerless gloves, I'd have been done with these in 2 days. There's something about doing socks that messes with my mind. I haven't figured it out yet. All I got to do, I already got my right here where you see these stitch markers. I already got my stitches, my waist yarn in there for my afterthought heel, where these 2 stitch markers are. This is the waist yarn for my afterthought heel. Right now, I'm getting ready to start my decreases for the toe. But I could have been doing, I don't know if it's the color because it's various shades of purple and pinks. It's not pink, it's a lavender. Thank God for that. But yeah, so, and because I wear a size 10 wide shoe, I have to use 2 balls of yarn. So this is the second ball of yarn for my second sock. And these are Knit Pro Zings. I love them. This is when they first came out. I don't know about what the quality is now since they're showing up in big box stores. So I don't know what the quality is like now. But I'll be using a different color yarn to do my toes. And I have plenty of yarn, sock yarn, to decide. I know I want it to be a solid and I want it to stand out. So I'm thinking of either doing a lime green, because I still have some of that lime green yarn from a couple of years ago. So I'm thinking of doing either a lime green, which would offset that purple very well, or doing, I have some purple that's similar to this, or a cranberry, for my heel. But it'll happen when it happens, because like I said, if those were fingerless gloves, I'd have been done. I don't understand how I can do fingerless gloves like this, which is basically a fingerless glove is a sock without the toe. Without the toe in the heel. That's it. Yes, this is the fox glove. This colorway was a Knits Picks fox glove. Like I said, these socks are several years old. I don't know if they've repeated this colorway since, but I know this colorway, I had pre-ordered mine, but this colorway sold out fast. I should probably bottle it up and see if I can sell it and then be done with it. But I done got so far on that sock, I just need to finish it. Or I can take and send what I've done to one of my sock knitting friends with some handspun as a bribe, and they'll finish the socks for me. I've done that too. Swap handspun for handmade socks. Oh, another thing I'm doing is I'm testing some PayPal links on my website, and I put up 2 skeins of yarn just to test. So if anybody wants one of those, there's 2 links up there to see how it works, and it'll be through PayPal. Caveman feet, girl. These feet played basketball, touched football, volleyball. These feet walked around barefoot most of my life growing up before I left to go into the military. And then these feet was stuck inside boondockers and steel-toe shoes while I was in the military. These feet have been through some things, girl. That's why they so flat. I'm technically flat-footed. I barely got into the military. But yes, I went through a growth period where the only thing growing was my feet. It was like every other week my dad was buying me some more sneakers. Remember those the boat, they call them boat shoes now, the little cute sneakers. And they got the string that go along the side. They used to make them in leather too, leather and canvas. And most people would use them just like tennis shoes, actual tennis shoes, not sneakers like we know of them now. Every other week he was going to the Family Dollar store buying me a pair of those shoes because they were only like $5 back then. Now that same type of shoe you're gonna spend anywhere from $45 to $75, if not more. The leather ones cost you like 125 or more for those same shoes. They call them deck shoes now. We just call them boat shoes. Growing up in the country, we just call them boat shoes. Yep, the van types. And they were only like $5 at the dollar store. Like the little ones, like people who had little feet, they were like $3. But somebody like me that was growing them suit coolers, $5. And but that was a lot of money to be spending every other week. But my feet went from a size 5 to a 9 in the space of 3 months. And then by the time I got to high school, I was wearing a 9.5. After I got the military, I was wearing a 10.5 wide because my feet got even flatter. And the reason I have to wear such a long shoe is my second toe is longer than my big toe. So I have to get the shoe so that toe doesn't rub a sore or get a sore on it, or rub the toenail. One of my toenails is actually damaged. The bed of the toenail is damaged, and it goes the wrong direction now from rubbing against the top of my shoe. So one day I'm going to have to go have surgery to have that nail permanently removed. But right now, I just soak it, and I clip it down real small, far to keep from having to deal with that thick nail and the fact that it's turned the wrong way now. But instead of going straight, it goes off on a tangent. So I keep my toenails really short. But it was from wearing the boondockers in the Navy. The shoes, they're very ill-fitting. When they first fit you for your shoes, I think my dad said they used to actually have shoemakers who would fit you for your shoes, and you wore your shoes while they were making you your military shoes that they were actually handmade for you so that they would fit you comfortably, so they would have less chance of you getting foot damage, foot rot, all this other weird stuff that happened in the military and stuff. And then after World War I, they started mass producing those shoes. The only people who got custom shoes were people who wore like size 15s and up. They got custom shoes because their feet were so big. Everybody else, it was, size 8, size 9, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I love watching Tobro. I watch him all the time. Yeah. And I grew up in the country. I've seen just about everything. Ain't nothing that makes me squeamish. And I work labor and delivery. And worked in physical therapy, doing 6 baths on burns and cleaning up burns and stuff like that, scraping all that dead skin off. So there's not too much that makes me squeamish. I think the only thing that can make me squeamish is if something happens to a child. And that's about it. That's about the only thing that can make me squeamish. Yeah, but Tobro is awesome. And what's that chick name? I can't think of her name, but I watch her too. The Pimple Popper, Dr. Pimple Popper. Yeah. Hey Kim, girl, our she shed looking good, girl. I think I need to make me a trip down south. Kristen, bring some Dublin wine, and Kristen, your she shed with some yarn. I got to fill up my water bottle. That's the only thing about coughing all the time. You're thirsty. Because if you're coughing, you're expelling micro molecules of water. And so you don't realize it. But if you're doing all that coughing and spraying, you're actually getting dehydrated. So I have to go fill up my water. Like you can see on my face, you can see my smile lines and stuff real good. Yeah, it's cause I've been coughing a lot. And the mosquito got me right here when I was outside today, getting the figs. The mosquito popped me. Oh yeah, the earwax guy too. Oh yeah, those are really interesting. The earwax guy, all the different types of earwax and stuff. Oh my god, I was like, seriously, there's that many different types of earwax? And then like he can tell if somebody's been using Q-tips, because all those little fibers from the Q-tips gets mixed up in the earwax with the hairs from inside the ears. So you know them old guys that be having them real long hairs that stick out their ears? Well, they have those hairs all up in their ears. And when they fall out, they collect the earwax around them, and then people end up getting a big old clog in their ear. And sometimes he'll be pulling it, and it looks like a earwax tampon being pulled out these people's ears. It is so gross. It is so gross. Yeah, I saw that you learned how to wet the sheetrock so that you could get it to form the way you want it to form. Y'all see all my gray hair. It's time for me to dye this stuff. It's like this is from the last time it was dyed. All that gray is like about here going up. It's time for me to dye this stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking about cutting it because it's irritating me touching my neck and stuff. So I made I got the last of the potatoes and the tomatoes and the cherry tomatoes. I got the last of them out of the garden, and I baked some chicken, and I chopped up some onions, the last of the purple peppers, and the last of all the things. I put them in there with the chicken, and I season it with curry, basil, lemon pepper, salt and pepper, and a little bit of paprika. And I put it in the oven and let all that, just put aluminum foil on the bottom because I won't try to be cleaning that pan. Aluminum foil across the top, and put it in there and just low heat and just just let the flavor just marinate. That chicken is good. Melt in your mouth good. And it was the last of my veggies out the garden. So I'm gonna be doing some videos, I think, of me tearing the garden apart so I can put it bed for the winter. And we put down I can't even think of the word now. It's like the liner that you put down to keep the grass from going up through stuff. We put some of that down and moved the buckets and stuff over, and moved the grow bags and stuff over onto it, because so that will be the next section of the garden. And because the back garden is going to be mostly for fruit trees, and so we're clearing all that space up, and we're going to be getting some more fruit trees and put in the back. And then that front garden, because it gets sunlight all day, that's going to be like for where we do the veggies and stuff. So I got another section to tape down, tarp down, however you want to call it. And then I'll move the buckets from the backyard up to the front and put them there. And then I'll go from there trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But I'll be able to, it'll be easier taking care of the garden that way instead of going back and forth from front to back. Plus, I'm trying to downsize on my banana trees, because Miss, if I haven't said her name, will just pop up into my head. Miss Laura, she gave me 3 banana plants. And those of you who have seen my gardening videos have seen the banana forest from those 3 banana plants. And they do flower. They'll put out the flower, and then where the bananas are made, for the banana racks, and they'll start making little bananas. But here in Virginia, it gets too cold, so the rack it will have bananas on it, probably like 2 thumbs wide and about that long. But they'll be green. They won't never fully develop because it gets too cold here. Oh yeah. When I was stationed in Great Lakes, I was when we went through hospital corpsman training. After I was an electronic technician first, then I crossed, because the Navy was backwards. You had to be a hospital corpsman to go to hospital equipment repair school. But you had to be an electronic technician to work on the equipment. I was already an electronic technician. So I had to go to hospital corpsman school to become a hospital corpsman just so I could go to hospital equipment repair school. Now, how stupid is that? After I got out, they changed it so that electronic technicians went to hospital equipment repair school. You don't have to know how to be a corpsman, which is basically a licensed practical nurse, to fix equipment. Just like telling a mechanic, he has to go to the nursing school because he wants to work on equipment that they use. Like if he wants to work on ambulances, yeah. So that's like telling him he got to go to nursing school because he wants to work on the ambulance to fix it. Yeah. So that's why I was dual rated when I was in the Navy. Freddie's hair, who's you got a heating pad on your back, on your neck. But yeah, getting back to that, we had to watch an autopsy when at Corpsman School. Um, we were working at the VA up in Waukegan, Illinois, the closest VA, wherever that was near there, and we had to. It was like a teaching uh room, like you see where the doctors are standing up, looking down while they're doing the operation and doing the autopsy. Everybody is like lined up around these windows, seated, watching them do the autopsy. That's how it was, and it was very interesting. That's why I love watching Dr. G, medical examiner. But yeah, I got to find me some pawpaw. I think I have pawpaw seeds, but I don't know if they're any good anymore. I have to look through my seed bucket and see if I have them and see if they're viable, because I I love pawpaw, but it's so hard to find around here. I saw somebody selling them on Facebook, and she put it up that day. By the time I called, they were all gone. All the plants she was selling. We did a cow eye, a frog, and cats. And the cat I had ended up being pregnant. So he made me remove each baby out of his little uterus. And yeah. And what sucked was they were almost term. So she could have had those kittens like, you know, any day before she ended up in a lab being prepared for some student to dissect. And I sit there and I wonder, because she was in great shape and the kids was in great shape. So I wonder if she was someone's pet, and that, because let me see, this was in 1987, around that time period. And during that time period, a lot of people's pets were being stolen out of their yards, side yards, and stuff like that. So it was during that time period. So I always wonder if that was somebody's pet that ended up with those people who were selling those animals to the different facilities who prepared those animals to be dissected and whatnot. And just like I wonder sometimes if some of the people who go missing, if they end up on body farms, if they end up being sold to companies and then end up on body farms. I wonder that too. What better way to hide a murder victim, then to take them to a body farm and replace them with a cadaver that was there around in the same amount of decomp that person has. That could be a movie. We need to write a script. Body farm. Sorry, it's 7:30. I just wanted to show y'all what I was working on and stuff. So I'm getting ready to go. So whoever's gonna do a video, go ahead and get your stuff started. This mosquito bite is irritating me now. I'm gonna have to find some. Where's my bliss stick at? This bliss stick isn't just for lips, y'all. You can put it on mosquito bites too, and it helps with. Hey, Glow, what's up? What's up? You getting ready to go live, Glow? I'm getting ready to get off. I just want to show y'all the stockings I was working on and stuff. Somebody need to go live. Somebody need to go live. Hey, Miguel, how are you? Everybody want to pop in. I'm getting ready to get off. Who going live next? Dreamy, you going live? I washed my hair last night. This stuff is so freaking thick. I'm telling y'all, I'm about ready to cut it. I feel like an old person now. I'll be sucking my teeth. Who's going live next? Who? Wow. That's a big drop. My ears would have been popping all day for that. It was warm here today. It was warm. It actually turned on the air conditioner. Because bad enough we sick. Then you already hot from the fever and stuff. I should wear my stocking. My hair is in a bun in the back, so my head taking up more room. Yep. My only hat that I own, well, besides my military cover, but I don't wear that no more. Because my hair is so thick, I'm already starting to sweat. That's why I don't own no hats. All right, y'all. Who's going live? I'm getting ready to end this stream. I need to fill up my water bottle, take me some more Theraflu, and I'm going to try to stay awake. That way I'll sleep more tonight. I need to finish. Somebody need to go live so I can finish this other heel while you're doing your live. So that'll keep me awake. Oh, y'all got rain, VJ? But what I did find when I was breaking down part of my garden is my walking onions made a lot of babies. So I'm going to have a lot of walking onions next year. I'm going to have to separate them and put them in trays so I can set them out on their own. So I need to know who's going live so I know who channel to go to, because I don't always get a notification from YouTube. Which direction is that front heading? Is it heading west or is it heading east? Y'all cold front. Kelly is live? Okay. All right then. Girl, y'all lives be so late. I be sleeping. Y'all be online. I'll get up that next morning. It'll be say that y'all, your live ended 4 hours ago. I'll be like, well, daggone. All right then. Y'all take care. We going over to Kelly's. Come on, y'all. Let's go.